Alright, what's up guys? So I picked up Kingdom Hearts 3 release day. I've played so far about 7 hours, which I think is a good enough amount of time to understand what the rest of the game is going to entail. As I've seen reports online that the game is not much longer than 30 hours anyway, with 12 hours of that being actual cutscene content. So you think about 12 hours of it actually being cutscenes, there's even possibly even less gameplay, even under 20 hours. Um, so I'm in like the second or third world right now, and I believe there's only 7 or 8 Disney worlds in this whole game. So almost like halfway, I'd say. I'm in Toy Story World at the moment. Um, Guys, this game is bad. This is really weird for me saying this. Like, I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan. I didn't really play the first two. I played a little bit of two when I was really young. I thought it was pretty good. The scale and size of it like really impressed me. The amount of Disney worlds. Like, I think there was like 15 or like 20 in that game, and there was a lot more bosses and like just a lot more content. And also you had a lot of more Final Fantasy characters, which I've seen Final Fantasy characters. Most of them have been cut from this game. It's just much more of just a Disney-based game with Sora. Again, really strange. So there are a number of reasons why this game is just weird for me, and just not good for a game that's taken 8 years in development, and it's been 14 years since Kingdom Hearts 2. That's what shocks me the most, and I just feel really bad for people that are actually mega fans of this game, because they've just been released a product that actually feels rushed, which blows my mind. After all this time, this game feels rushed, and I kept wanting to ignore that thought, but it just kept coming up for me time and time again that this game actually feels rushed. So let me start off first with the immersion. So the immersion for this game would be one of the things that would save it. You know, you've got the Disney soundtrack, which is incredible. You've got the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, it's amazing. You've got all the Disney characters, they're all incredible. You don't have to say much more. Sora, the whole concept is amazing. There should be a high level of immersion there. Um, what takes you out of that pretty immediately is the horrendous voice acting. The voice acting is bad. They have a new voice actor for Mickey. I understand the voice actor died or whatever. The actor for him in English is awful. It's really, really, really bad. Like, to the point where me and my girlfriend were actually laughing out loud as soon as he came on. Um, the lip syncing is off. I guess maybe because the scenes were done once with the Japanese dub first and then layered in English. I don't know. Even if they are layered in English, that's poor because the syncing is off in quite a lot of points. Their mouths just kind of open and close. It's very like 2012, and the audio sort of loops in here and there. It's not awful, but it does take you out. It all feels very slow. So like the lines between people saying their lines feels very slow and forced. Like there's no real flow to the conversations that any of the characters have. Like if you watch any of the cutscenes, you can go watch one now. You will notice like a second or two split between every line, to where it just has this like chuggy, boring, like drab, like this really like crawling pace for every cutscene. Now, the actual pacing is another real issue with this game. So pretty early on, I realized it was going to go in a certain pattern, which I really didn't like, and not many other games do this, where it really pulls the control away from you. So you start playing, you'll be like, yeah, this is fun, I can fight some guys, I'm jumping here, I'm jumping there, the world looks cool. And Heartless will appear, you'll beat the Heartless, it will play this, like, this white screen will appear, and it will, like, it'll make, like, a noise, and it will, like, fade out, and then it will take control away from you. A cutscene will play, something will play where for the next 5 minutes you're not touching the pad, and then it comes back and you'll get to play a little bit more, and you'll fight another round of Heartless, and then it will start again, another cutscene, another little load screen. And like the first Hercules world, it does that like honestly about like 15 times. Like it's ridiculous the amount of times like you can't just actually get into the action and start playing. And then I realized I feel like the reason they've done that is because there's not actually much content here. There's not much content in these worlds. I don't know if they build up later on, but there wasn't whole lot in Hercules. If I took the cutscenes out of Hercules World, I fought the first bunch of Heartless, moved up a hill, fought some more, moved around, like used a little shield move to fly over some lava or fire, did the same thing again. So I fought the Heartless about 5 or 6 times, fought a little mini boss, went up a hill, fought some more Heartless, came back down a hill, fought another Titan or whatever, then the boss battle, and that was it. Like, it was over super quick. Like, without the cutscenes, easily could have been a 40-minute section. The world is empty. Like, you can go and open chests, which give you potions or whatever, which you'll hardly need, because the game is not challenging at all. We'll get onto the combat in a second. But, so the world has nothing in it. It's extremely linear. You move from basically, it's almost like a hallway. It's that linear. Like you move from forward, you go up and down a wall sometimes. You might have a little bit of freedom to go left to find a chest, but essentially you're on one pretty much rail. Every world's felt like that so far. They're really small worlds. They're not really well realized. The AI, like the people, like the NPCs that walk around the town look strange. Like Hercules is strangely dead. There's nothing in Hercules world. There's no people. There's like the odd person, but they just look strange. And then like Twilight Town, which I know is in Kingdom Hearts 2, again just looks weird. The NPCs look like the people out of Sonic 06, 100%. If anyone knows Sonic 06, they look like the same NPCs from that. It's insane. And in Twilight Town, all I did was have to find 9 ingredients for. Okay, Ratatouille is quite cool. We're doing some cooking with things. That's Ratatouille is a great movie. That's a cool little cameo, putting him in there. But I don't want to go walk around and find 8 takeaway boxes and 1 bowl of fruit. Like this is a sort of mini game. That would be like a mobile game. I don't understand why I'm walking around trying to find food ingredients. Like it's ridiculous. Like a little collectathon mini game. It's not fun, and you have to do it in order to progress. Like they've had 15 years or 8 years, whatever, to work on this stuff, to make this a lot deeper, and it's just crazy to me. So like the combat system, you can honestly go in any fight as soon as it appears. Just keep tapping X, just non-stop. Don't stop tapping X, and every time triangle pops up, press triangle. The triangle will activate a QTE, some sort of like event. Which are amazing to look at the first time you see them. They're impressive the very first time. Like, whoa, look at that. Like, that's a cool ship. And look at Sora and Donald and Goofy jumping on that ship. That's really cool. It plays itself. Honestly plays itself. Keep pressing X, press triangle. This little cutscene will play out. A big boat will appear. Or you'll go onto a roller coaster and you shoot the guns. Or you do something super, super simple. And you just keep doing that, and every time you press triangle, he'll power up, or he'll do like an area of effect move, like an AoE, which will do some more damage. Go back to tapping X, Keyblade over and over and over again, chop, 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 and eventually they'll just die. You don't even have to move. You can just like lock on and just keep pressing X, and that hasn't changed for me. Like there was one boss battle in Hercules World which required me to like think a little bit more, and I'm sure there's going to be other boss battles later on in the game where I have to do some other tasks, but the bulk of the game, which is fighting Heartless and moving from area to area and cutscenes playing, that's it. Like there is no real challenge there. And fair enough, I'm playing on normal. I'm not playing on proud, but I've already seen people say that proud's pretty easy. Normal is stupidly easy. Like my girlfriend that can barely play games at all played most of the game for me last night because I was actually so bored, and she enjoyed it, and it was much more to her skill level. So what I feel like is happening now is this game was made for a new, younger audience. I understand that, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, as a 14-year-old child, this game would blow my mind. It would be incredible. As an adult, though, it's strange what they've done here, because the story is extremely convoluted, extremely complex, very dense. There's a lot to unpack here, and it cuts between these very like deep story sections that require a lot of attention. This very basic combat, but also has the potential to be a lot deeper. So one thing I do like is that you can change Keyblades. You unlock Keyblades from different areas. You can swap between them, and they all have different movesets, different triangle moves, and they all play differently and do different damage and stuff like that. That's cool. I think that's a really cool element. Swapping Keyblades and kind of using magic is kind of cool as well. So that's one area that I like. But yeah, so if you want, you can make it a lot more complex. You can really delve into that battle system if you need to, but you really don't need to. Like, I would do it out of boredom. Like, I'm going to be trying different Keyblades as I go across this game to keep myself interested in the really, really bland combat system. But that's just me trying to not get bored of the game, basically. So right now, I'm like 8 hours in. I honestly, I feel like it's kind of a slog to even get through this game at this point, which is, I really don't want to be saying this. Like, I paid full price just like everybody else. I really want to give this a try. I had pretty much no expectations. I'm not a mega fan. So now I just feel so bad for the people that are actually long-time fans of this franchise. And I know this opinion is probably going to shock a lot of people, but it just feels like it needs to be said. This is just how I feel about this game so far. Fair enough, I haven't beat the game yet, whatever. But this game is a disappointment, dude. This game feels rushed, for real. You can't check a map. There's no map system. So throughout all of these worlds, if I want to go back for collectibles or anything like that, I cannot look at a map screen. Like, what were they thinking not putting in a map screen so I can see where I am, check out the area and the layouts? There's a mini-map. Why couldn't they have just made the mini-map, like, enlarged? It's insane to me. I don't understand. The ship sections, I don't like, but I know the previous games had this on-rails thing. I don't like having to fly between the planets. I'd rather just walk between them so I can go into the Disney worlds, which is what people want to play the game for anyway. Like, if the game had perfect voice acting and the cutscenes ran smoother and they weren't so clunky and so slow, this could have been really, really cool. Like, this could have been awesome. This could have been actually amazing. But so far, it's so clunky that every time a cutscene comes up, I just sigh. I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't care about any of this. This is so slow and dull. And then I skip to the next fight, and then it takes me back to another cutscene. And it's just constant. Like, maybe it's just not my type of game. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure, for the research that I've done, that this game is not like Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 had a lot more effort put into it. It was a far bigger game, from what I understand. So, for them to have taken this long and released all these spin-offs and kept mega fans waiting for this long, I would have expected a much more polished product. And I think anyone that's a mega fan right now, you're lying to yourself thinking that this is a polished game. This is not a finished game. This honestly is very rushed in parts. The worlds are completely bland. There's nothing in any of the worlds. They're just empty boxes with invisible walls, and you bounce around. Sora feels floaty. You tap X and you press triangle for different enemies. You move on from fight to fight. Another cutscene plays out. Rinse and repeat. That's literally it. That's the entire game. So, I don't know, man. I just had to get this off my chest, put out my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm probably going to get absolutely hammered by mega fans here, and I apologize, but the main thing is I feel bad for you guys, dude. Honestly, I feel bad for mega fans of this game. Like, the loading times, oh my god, the loading times are like something out of Sonic 06. God of War, Red Dead Redemption, there is no single load screen. Dark Souls, they do not have load screens. These games have been out for years now, with no load screens between content. This game has load screens constantly. You want to go cook ingredients with Remy? Massive load screen. You want to go like transfer to the next world? Huge load screen. Sometimes in between fights there'll be a huge load screen. Like, this is unacceptable in 2019. It totally is. I'm sorry, but like, it really is. These long ass load screens, especially for a game with a budget as big as this, with as much hype as this, with the wait time of this feels like an old game. This game feels like, I'm not going to say PS2, but it feels like a 2012, 2013 era PS3 game. Like, this is weird, guys. This is super weird. And I know because of the hype for this game, it's never going to get this sort of opinion as widespread as it should be. But this needs to be called out, man. This game needs something. I don't know what it is. I think it's too late, but it's a shame, man. It's a real shame. Bland combat, awful load screens, cutscenes, voice acting is awful for the English dub in particular. It's really, really bad. It's laughable in parts, especially Mickey Mouse. Woody is weird. Like, Hercules is weird. Like, it's just strange, dude. There's some really cool moments, don't get me wrong, like some cool Disney characters that they voice properly, and the worlds look beautiful, but they just have no content. There's no substance to any of it. Bland worlds, only 7 or 8 of them. Combat is boring. The cutscenes are boring. The game feels like a chore to play. I'm doing collectathons where I'm collecting different ingredients around the town, and I could just tap X and triangle for pretty much the entire game. So yeah, they're my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Had to get that out there. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't know, man. This is a strange game. This is a rushed game. For a game that's taken this long, wow, man. I don't know. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.